Hey guys, welcome back to Rewind Toys. I will be your host, and I am Jason Emmett. Today, we're going to be talking about an obscure but really awesome line. A line I didn't even know anything about until I ventured into the world of collecting a few years back and, got into toy history. And now, like most collectors, I'm freaking obsessed with yet another toy line that if I even manage to find one, I likely won't be able to afford it, or I'll have to sell like a kidney or something. So this toy inspired a line that was inspired by another line, which sounds weird but will make sense, I promise. That's right, today we're going to be telling you all about those crazy canines, the Muscle Mutts. All right, we already talked about Street Sharks. You can go back and watch that video, and you should. But just in case you don't go back and watch that video, just know that Street Sharks were directly inspired by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So why do I bring this up? Well, because Street Sharks, they play a fairly large part in the creation of Muscle Mutts. You see, Street Sharks were produced by Mattel, but they were originally designed by Streetwise Designs, the same guys that would design Muscle Mutts. Streetwise was a smaller company based out of California, and it's believed the Muscle Mutts were originally intended to be an extension of Street Sharks and Extreme Dinosaurs, also created by the same team. Anyway, for whatever reason, it didn't end up happening, and since Mattel didn't pick these toys up, they were instead released by Street Players. Now, Street Players had designed lines of figures for properties such as the Phantom, the Nanny TV show. They even did a Jerry Springer doll. So they weren't like a massively well-known company, although they do have a few lines out there that I think are really cool. They weren't that well-known as far as toys go, which is probably why these toys, the Muscle Mutts, are so hard to come by. There was no cartoon. There was nothing out there to help promote these figures. And that led to an extremely limited run, which makes them extremely rare. And when you do find them, they're going to cost you. And I mean like a lot. Anywhere from $500 to $2,000. That seems to be the average going price out there. Big, large range. I understand that, but it's just the way it is. So I'm going to do my very best to fill you in on these guys, but honestly, this line is extremely difficult to find information on, and I'm far from an expert on Muscle Mutts. Now, real quick, I do want to give a small shout out to King's Cave 80 on Instagram for his assistance. He's kind of one of the closest things I've found to an expert on these awesome toys, and his collection is just wow. Go over to take a look. I'll wait. Actually, no, I won't wait. Write down that Instagram and make sure you follow him over there. But please finish watching this video first and then go there. Like, definitely you should go there and check him out because his Instagram page is amazing. So let's start with the design. These guys were designed very much like Street Sharks and Extreme Dinosaurs. I mean, if you know what those look like, you kind of get what Muscle Mutts look like. There were 4 dogs. They were released each at around 7 inches. With articulated shoulders and nothing else. There was Red Knuckle, there was Bronzer, there was Gutter, and there was Sugar Tooth. They each came with a bone weapon and a trading card. Now, by bone weapon, I mean, well, just that. Like, Gutter had nunchucks made out of bone, and Bronzer had a bone boomerang. Red Knuckle had a scythe, out of bone, and Sugar Tooth had a spiked bone shield. They weren't the most action of action figures, but they looked really cool and they display really nice. So after those figures were released, there were also 3 hand puppets that managed to hit the market as a kind of second wave. They were Sugar Tooth, Red Knuckle, and Bronzer. Why Gutter wasn't made into a puppet, I really can't say. Like, seriously, he gets the worst name and they stiff him on the hand puppet? I mean, that's not fair. After that, we had the bad guys. There were 3 cats, the stray cats, and 1 human named Sam. These are all featured on the back of the packaging, although it's sort of up in the air if they were ever released to retail. And I do know at least 2 of the cats did appear to make it out there to retail. As for the third and Sam the dog catcher, there are rumors of them, and I have seen pictures on a certain someone's Instagram page up there. So they're sort of out there. Again, I just don't know if they made it to retail. It's believed that if they ever came out to retail, they were in such limited numbers as to be almost impossible to find. Now, there were also plans for a junkyard playset that never went into production, again, as far as I'm aware. And that seems to be substantiated that it didn't make it into production. It's also kind of believed that there were intentions of a cartoon for them, or perhaps an introduction into the Street Sharks or Extreme Dinosaurs universe. But alas, again, it never happened, and these chunky critters faded into 90s obscurity. And man, do I mean obscurity. Now, I have a feeling only the most avid collectors are even going to know what these are going into this video. Now, as for the rest of you, well, I get that you're irritated at me right now for introducing you to another line to obsess over. I get it. I mean, it happened to me too. Once you see these guys, you're going to want to own these guys, but good luck. And if you have one or whatever, tell me. Let me know, because that's cool. Hardcore collectors are always on the lookout for these mutts. And yes, I would love to own them, but currently my wallet doesn't support such a purchase. Still, you never know. I've heard stories of people like stumbling across them in thrift stores and yard sales. I've even seen photos to back that up. And they probably found their way out there because, well, folks just didn't know what they were. Like some mom found it in her basement or attic or something and threw it in the yard sale. Now, if you watch this video, then at least that won't be a mistake you will make. You know, you'll know now what you're looking at. And to me, that's worth like a subscribe or something, right? Honestly, guys, I really enjoy having you all here to hang out for a few and talk toys. It's just something I really love to do, and I love that you guys have been a part of that conversation. I look forward to doing it again next time, and until then, remember, when it comes to weird, nostalgic, obscure toys, the hunt is half the fun.